While I'm here in Nashville, I wanted to go ahead and get the last video on the flood out of the way. I'm Steve Perry, this is Biblical Anarchy, and I'm here in Nashville for the Rabbi Singer and Professor Solberg debate that's going to be taking place tonight here at the Embassy Suites in Nashville, Tennessee. I got to hang out with some Noahides last night. I met William Hall from Tenak Talk. I am a Patreon of William Hall's, so I donate monthly to his channel there, and I think it's important to do because he's providing a service for Noahides, people in that community, with all the work he does with the rabbis. And he's posted about this on Facebook and on YouTube that recently he lost his job, and so this is now his full-time job. And if you can go over there and support him and you appreciate what he does, you know, $5-10 a month, whatever you can do, $100 a month if you want, you know, but whatever you can do will help out a lot with the channel over there. I think he's doing great work, and I appreciate what he's putting into it. And we had a talk last night about maybe some things he could do to encourage more along that direction. But he was mentioning that people get upset if he kind of pushes the Patreon thing. Relax, guys. You know, it's a service he's providing, and if you can't donate, he understands that. Everybody understands that. Not everybody's going to be able to donate, but for those who can, he's doing good work over there. Anyway, back to the flood thing. So on the flood, I don't see the flood as a historical event from the Bible. I think that there's definitely a historical event that's being referenced, and I think that in order to understand that historical event, you would have to go to the ancient Mesopotamian text. What are the Sumerians talking about? There's a channel called Fall of Civilizations, and I believe it is on the it's on the fall of the Sumerian civilization that he gets into what he thinks the flood story is about. And I think he's got some really good points. Just a basic overview. There are a lot of factors that come into play here when looking at this. For one thing, the Sumerians have a language that's not related to any of the languages around them. In fact, they've never found a language that it is related to. So it's kind of like a standalone language. They came there from somewhere else, and it seems like Sumer moved north and Akkad moved south, and eventually these two civilizations bumped into each other at the point where we know of them living in Mesopotamia. I think this is probably related to coming out of an ice age and sea levels rising and them losing their community, and that's where the flood story comes from. So basically they would have lived in the Persian Gulf, right? And as the waters, as the ice melted and the sea levels rose, they lost more and more of their land to the ocean. And this is probably what the flood narrative is about. However, once you have it in the Bible there, what are we talking about? There's a reason why this is in the Bible. There's a story that's being told here, and it's definitely a polemic against the Mesopotamian religions and the Babylonian faith and all this. I don't dispute that at all, but I also think that there's a larger meaning to it for us, in that the whole world is destroyed. Everybody dies except for Noah and his family in the story. Do I honestly believe that everybody in the world was killed? No. So what's the point of saying they were? Well, that is the legend. If you look at Atrahasis, if you look at Utnapishtim, that's just the way the story is told. But the reason why it's told this way in the Bible is that God has a covenant with all of mankind, because all of mankind would be descendants of Noah and his family in the biblical account. And so you can read the Hebrew Bible and say, oh, well, the Jews are the chosen people. God has a special place for the Jews. But the Jews, like everyone, is a descendant of Noah in this story. And that's what the story is getting at, in my view. Obviously, there are people who view this as a historical flood that actually took place at a point in time where the whole world was destroyed and Noah and his family survived. That's fine. If that's the way you view it, you're going to get the same message out of it. Everybody's a descendant of Noah. And I think that's what you're supposed to take from this. I really do. I think you're supposed to see everybody is a descendant of Noah. God has a covenant with everyone. God has expectations for all of us. He has laws that he wants us to follow. He has things that he wants us to do, ways that he wants us to live, to interact with each other, to take care of each other. And I think that this is a point of the story. It's not just a polemic against what they believe. It's teaching us what we should believe and how we should interact with nature and the people around us. And I believe that's the point of the story. Anyhow, I'm looking forward to the debate tonight. I might do a video after the debate, just some of my thoughts on what takes place. I don't know if there's going to be a Q&A. If there is, I do have a question that I'd like to ask. And Tenak Talk, Patreon. If you've never watched Tenak Talk videos, they're fascinating. Question and answer sessions with Rabbi Singer. Some of the other rabbis come on and teach lessons. Really good stuff over on that channel. Check it out. And if you can, go over to Patreon and give a little support over there to William Hall and the Tenak Talk channel. Anyway, I'm Steve Perry. This is Biblical Anarchy. If you enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel, but whatever you do, don't just sit there. My screen's backward. Do something.